Into the hot corner for it must be a Tuesday, but baby, it's always a Tuesday around these parts.
Let's go. See, I like that.
Yeah,
Just
it
switch
just
the day
works.
up. Just switch the day up.
Patrick Harris here with you. Joe Fisher to my left. Schultze on the ones and twos. Hello, fam. It's good to see you. It's good to be back.
What's up, guys? Good to see y'all.
Ready to baseball it up.
Ready to ball it up.
Yeah, I'm jumping on the text line now, and I'm just seeing a bunch of animals on here.
Yeah, cougar, mountain lion,
Sea
tiger.
urchin.
Do those guys even work? Do those guys even do anything?
I mean, no.
It's a segment called The Club. What are you talking about?
No.
Of course not.
I'm going out on a limb and just saying, like, those guys, oof.
Well, I do appreciate a good animal subject. I am a sucker for crazy animal facts. One of my favorite shows on Netflix, 72 Most Dangerous Animals.
Meerkat Manor.
No. Those are mean little bastards, though.
They are little mean little bastards.
But 72 Most Dangerous Animals, whether it be South America and or Asia, whichever of the two variations, absolutely love those shows. Because nature is cool, right? Like we all love the fun facts of nature, but the nature is metal side of things.
I follow that on Reddit.
Yes,
that is
like,
a subreddit. Nature is metal. I actually also follow Nature is effing metal.
Yeah, I want to hear the stories and the facts about animals that make me go, holy S.
Yeah.
Like snakes, most poisonous snakes, some random ass animal somewhere in Asia. The box jellyfish, which is one of the most dangerous in the world.
Murder hornets.
Dude, give them all to me because, yeah, the more dangerous and the more obscure. And also, animals are essentially aliens in a sense. Like, some of the ways they can operate and survive in this world and some of their superpowers, essentially, it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I shouldn't trash on those guys too much. I mean, the first year I competed in Hunt for the Host, I lost because I was terrible at the Club Hour, and I have hosted and produced Club Hour many times in my life, and it's some of the worst radio you could ever choose to hear. So shout out to those guys for being great at doing nothing, quote unquote.
Oh, boy.
Just talking about how scary nature is. What was that old Family Guy quote or joke like,
Damn, nature, you
scary. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're highlighting. It's freaking true.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love the dark side of nature. I love I think there is even a Instagram Nature is Metal, and it's got some stuff and some things.
There are things on my subreddit of Nature is Metal that it says, like the headline is blank kills blank.
Yeah.
And then I start to see the beginning and I'm like, nope, keep scrolling.
Yeah, there's
I do not need that level of carnage to see like something being ripped open. Or it's like a gazelle is drinking water and doesn't know there's a crocodile there. I'm like, nope, seen this. I know how this goes.
See, that's pretty
The
tame.
crocodile pops up, grabs it by the neck, pulls it in the water, and I don't need to see that.
Have you ever seen
I'm soft. Remember, I'm soft.
Have you ever seen the pictures
Physically and
of-
mentally.
I am doughy. Have you ever seen the pictures of the sea turtles, like after they've been attacked by a shark, and they literally have like a hunk bitten out of their shell?
Yeah.
And it's just a gap
Yep.
in the shell of the sea turtle. Insane.
Yeah.
Twitter
How
was-
are you alive?
You can see the internal organs of said sea turtle
How
just
are you
spilling out of the
alive?
shell. It's insane.
Twitter was trying to shove in my algorithm. I think it was like a big bird eating a live snake or something like that. I'm just like, what? Nope, scroll right past. I don't
Yeah.
need this.
Give it to me.
Don't need that.
But then you get cool things of like a bald eagle just burrowing down on the water. Comes down in the water and drops in the water with its two talons and pops up with a giant fish. And you're like, all right, that's pretty
Yeah,
majestic.
bad.
here we go.
Badass.
I'm on their Instagram now, looking at a picture of what seems to be a hyena just ripping apart an African tortoise.
Yeah.
Resilient bastards, you know?
They are. I think they're the son of a bitch.
Like hyenas.
No, the hyena.
Oh,
the
the
turtle.
The
well, I would
turtle.
say it's hard to eat.
Those damn turtles.
Oh, they got the
bastards.
protective shells.
Nah, man, I use decomposable straws to save those turtles. No, I think the hyenas. It's like, damn, you guys are a bunch of bastards, aren't you?
Yeah.
And
were
they're
in The
like,
Lion
oh yeah,
King.
they're like, oh yeah.
They were
yeah,
the
we
worst
are.
ones.
Definitely gone down the rabbit hole
Mufasa.
of like zebras trying to ford a river that is just infested with alligators.
Yeah,
like
it's
a
like-
herd of zebras, and some of them make it.
Can you
some
imagine
of
the
them
leader?
don't.
Can you imagine the leader? Like, let's pretend the leader speaks English, and he's like, "All right, guys, gather around. Got a little pre-shift here.
There's
Okay.
some good grass over on that side.
I just want you to know that where we're going, let me tell you, it's the greatest grass you've ever seen in your entire life. And we're headed there, but 4 of you are going to die.
We're all
But
not,
now it's
we're not
up
all
to
making it.
you which 4 of you are going to die.
That sounds like some Dark Knight ass.
I
Oh.
am on your team. I believe in you. We're all going to make it,
Oh,
except for 4 of you. So be better than the guy next to you.
see,
You know, there's little zebras that are like kicking dudes towards crocodiles. Like, oh, damn, there's one.
this is part of the reason why I would love to go to Africa, though, and do a safari, because I just want to see some S go down. There is a great YouTube channel, Kruger National Park in Africa, that has like 10 to 15-minute videos.
Meerkats.
No, of like just animal interactions of where the wildebeest gets caught by the lions, and the lions accidentally kind of make their way with the carcass down by the watering hole, and then a gator comes out of nowhere
He's like,
and goes
"Ooh,
after the lions.
2
and it's
for
just-
1.
Oh, dude, it's just warfare. It is awesome. And people, what always cracks me up about those videos too is there's always some lily white family visiting from the Americas. No, stop!
He's
Oh,
already
no!
dead.
Someone save it! And it's like,
It's like,
nope,
no,
not-
this is
that's not how that goes around here.
the circle of life.
Yeah, they didn't teach you that part in The Lion King about the circle of life. See,
I
I'm
think
coming
it was heavily insinuated in The Lion
yeah,
King.
You watched Mufasa die. That movie traumatized a whole generation.
He was
of
stabbed in the
children.
back.
They
all right?
killed Darth Vader.
It's not like he died of starvation or like not having water. He died because his brother stabbed him in the back and let him off the cliff.
You know, I read this thing the other day that some kid wanted his birthday cake to be the scene of Mufasa dying because that
Him
way
falling off the cliff.
that way that was the saddest thing that could happen at his birthday party. Therefore, he was in the clear.
I'm still
Oh.
traumatized.
Okay.
Still
It can't get worse than that. Like Mufasa's dead on my cake.
Maybe just plan for a better day, kid. That house must have been sad.
Maybe his
sad.
parents suck, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
No.
Maybe his parents suck.
Now I'm seeing a video of a saltwater crocodile of some sort in Africa, and he's got a baby hippo in its jaws, and that baby hippo ain't going nowhere. He's giving it the whip, you know, what the gators do when they have something. They do the death roll, and then they just do the one where they try to tear the meat right off.
The death roll's pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know this is leaking in from their conversation, but Suk and I were talking during the break. Like, what was it? Arian Foster says that he could like fight off a wolf. Have you ever seen just like a regular domesticated dog, like a Rottweiler, when
Yeah.
they get pissed off and kind of kick into that primal?
And the wolf is like 2-3 times the size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rottweilers are scary as S too. Like, come on, what are we doing? Oh, I know. I saw it too, my friend. I saw it too.
Oh, did we get some breaking news? What's going on?
Big news. Big news. Oh, God, he's trying to reach for the read. Does anybody even do that read?
I don't know, but Joe, I am
You are 1080 the fan.
yeah, dude, I am 1080 the fan.
I am 1080 the fan.
Breaking news on 1080 the fan is presented by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit betql.com today. Boy, we got a big one
That is a big one.
in the NBA.
I had to do a double take and then a triple take because I saw like, oh, okay, that's a big name. Oh, that's a big name. And then I said, that's a lot of draft picks.
The New York Knicks have acquired Mikal Bridges.
Mikhail.
I know, that's what I like to say. I like to call him that. They have acquired Michael Bridges from the Nets for Bogdanovich and 5 first-round picks.
One of the Boyans and 5 picks. My God.
Holy goodness.
The Knicks are going after it. They are going after it. Jalen Brunson had a great season, great playoff run, but they definitely showed that they need to have some real horses. And with Brunson, OG, and now you got Mikal Bridges. And I don't know. I'm not crazy about Julius Randle on that team.
But did Bridges go to
anyways.
Villanova? That's my question.
Where did God? I'm trying to remember where.
Because I think
Bridges
to play
went
for the
to.
Knicks, you have to have gone to Villanova.
Where did Mikal Bridges go? This is one of my favorite games too. Trying to remember. Where they
Oh,
went
me
to.
and the homeboy, we do this all the time, and he is really, really good
It's
at
a
it.
fun game. Mikhail Bridges went to. I'm gonna go some Big East school. I'm gonna go. Hell, I don't know. St. John's.
Dude, I am not kidding you.
Did you go to St. John's?
No.
Oh, damn it, dude! You don't mislead me like that.
Dude, Bridges
Yeah.
went to Villanova.
Boom. There you go.
See, when you first said that, there was a split second. I was like, "Oh, I think he did," and then I was like, "No, I'm not that confident about that."
If Bridges and say they land Paul George, okay, I know a lot of people want to say that Paul George should go to the Knicks, maybe the Phillies, whatever. But if they land Bridges and Paul George, I mean that team's pretty damn good,
Yeah,
right?
except Paul George is a mental midget, and he'll cower in the playoffs. So I wouldn't want Paul George at this point.
Well, he costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that's also
He
why I would
costs
not
a
want Paul
lot of
George.
money.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, they're not nice little team over there in New York.
yeah. Like I said, get rid of Julius Randle, and I'll be much happier.
5 first-round draft picks.
That's a lot.
for Bridges.
He's good though. He's
He's
really
good. He's good.
I don't think they-
Dame notoriously wanted him in Portland.
I don't think they can get rid of Julius Randle now. They have no other assets. They just gave it all up for Bridges, brother.
You trade Julius Randle for a second-round pick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we got to compensate for this Bridges thing.
Yeah, if they could bring Hartenstein back, get rid of Randall, and maybe fill his gap a little bit. I don't know. I saw too many clips of Randall last year, like walking back up the court on defense and literally giving zero effort on some plays, and it just drove me absolutely nuts.
Bridges was 10th overall in the 18 draft by the Sixers. He was traded to the Suns for the 16th pick and an unprotected 2021 first round.
Well, good for him and good for the Knicks. He doesn't have to move far, that's for sure.
Mikel.
I wonder if this.
Mikhail.
I know that they're still obviously in on OG Anunoby, but I wonder if this affects their pursuit of Isaiah Hartenstein as well, as you just brought up, because he is an unrestricted free agent. But
Yeah, and he's
They-
going to
they
get
can
more
only
money
offer him so
because,
much.
he made himself some money in the playoffs, that's for sure. So, wow, I guess
it's a biggins.
draft day is upon us.
I love
Some
it.
moves are being made.
Draft day is upon us. You can join us tomorrow at 10 Barrel up on the roof patio party for 10 Barrel as the Blazers probably piss away their draft. I am an employee of 10 Barrel.
What?
I don't usually like to say that. However, I cannot make it tomorrow due to a family emergency. I get to drive to Spokane.
I hear the drive's beautiful.
It's not.
I know.
It's,
One
a very
of
long one.
one of the
it's the same drive as Pullman, but when you're done, you get to be in Pullman.
yeah,
Yay.
it's one of the more boring, dreadful drives of my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit Zips in Ritzville. That's all I can tell you. All right,
Hey,
Oakley.
that's almost worth the drive alone. Getting some zips, okay?
Oakley Dokley. Well, we do have a baseball show for you tonight. Bryce Harper wants to be in the Olympics.
I say we pull a hot route and we talk about why this Mikhail Bridges trade affects LeBron's legacy.
And why Russell Westbrook should join the Knicks.
Yes.
We've also got to get into, is this the new best team in the American League? And boy, are our Mariners struggling. We'll get to a lot of that. When we come back, I have to admit something.
Uh-oh.
So we'll do that. Plus, Sugar Diaz is in the news. We got a lot to get to. The Hot Corner, Portland Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
As the NBA draft
719 Portland Sports Leader here. Don't you forget it. We are live in the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge, like we do every single Tuesday. 503-864-6326. That is the Vancouver Ford text line. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit VancouverFord.com. Guilty as charged. I've got one in the parking lot right now, and they have been wonderful for me. We got a lot to get to today. All-star votes are out. Trade deadline is looming.
Yeah, might as well call them the American League Orioles.
Objects in the rearview mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah, that changed quickly.
Yeah, sure did, didn't it? So we got a lot to get to, but I do have to admit something to the both of you, Joe. You texted me earlier and was like, "Yo, what are we thinking for tonight?" And I was like, "Honestly, I'm not there yet,
Dude,
because I was having a tough day at work."
if I think what you're gonna say right now, I'm not gonna be happy.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
I think you're gonna say you have a new favorite team, or that you never left this team to begin with.
Oh no,
No?
no.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say traitor.
No, I'm actually going to tell you something worse. In the last week, I've watched very little baseball.
Shame.
Well, I got
Hey, when you got the cup, when you got Lord Stanley's,
yeah, it's not that.
Yeah, what?
it's not even the champions right now.
I've been watching so much Europa
Oh
and
God.
so much Copa America
If you don't like America, you can get out.
that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I went to my doctor's office today, and as I was like heading back to the room,
Ooh, heading.
I could. That's a good one. I'll give that to you. I saw in like in a cubicle area somewhere, someone watching Euros
Yeah.
on YouTube TV on
Yeah.
their screen. I go and I see my doctor, and I walk out. It was him.
Yeah.
He had it on
He had it on.
his computer. I was like, man, he is not in his game right now. He just wants to get back to his computer so he can keep watching Euro.
You know,
I don't know if I got the best service today.
I got a big heart surgery coming up later today, but
You say heart surgery?
but this Netherlands Austria game right now is fire.
yeah, like,
Can you push me back an
Yeah.
hour, sir?
oh, what a goal! Oh, I think I cut an artery there.
Yeah, so like Joe, part of me when you were like, "Yo, what are we going to talk about today?" I was like, "No idea.
Soccer.
No
you
idea."
make me
Messy.
sick.
My fantasy team is coming on strong.
I will say.
That's all I got.
I
Talking
walked-
about selfie seekers on Ronaldo's ass. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like what was that? 4 of them.
In one match? Good God.
Well, they can't see him.
Isn't he the
on a regular basis,
Isn't he
so.
the number one followed person in the world on Instagram?
I believe so.
That or
Him or Selena Gomez?
Yeah, at one point it was Selena Gomez. It might be him now.
Why?
I agree with you 1,000% on that.
I don't know, man. Because Cristiano can have a mistress and a wife and still have sex.
No,
with
not
you.
Cristiano Ronaldo. I meant Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
I think she was one of the early
Um,
adopters.
Well, she is a
Yes,
Disney
it
kid.
is. It is Cristiano Ronaldo. He is number 1. Number 2, Kylie Jenner. Number 3, Lionel Messi. Number
Ooh,
4,
that
Selena
World Cup
Gomez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was watching the Copa the other day, and I
I'm
was
watching the Copa right now. I got Argentina, Chile.
and I got Alexi Lawless just flapping his gums about how the U.S. was going to score. I think they might get 4 this game against Bolivia, and I was like, I hope they lose by 4.
I hope they lose too. I'm a very big USA fan, but I am very anti Greg Berhalter. So
Is that
that's
the
the
head
manager,
coach?
yeah. So if America could flame out real hard in this tournament, that'd be great.
I am just
Because then I get a new manager going into 2026 World Cup,
I am very
where all our kids are in their prime.
I love America, great country, but I am
greatest country you've ever seen.
I am big
Thursday. Are
big
for Thursday?
anti-U.S. men's soccer team
Not me.
because
I'm pro.
every year, every tournament, whatever the hell is going on, overhyped, overblown, and then they got to throw Alexi Lawless on whatever Fox show, whether it's Call In or whatever, and they have to blow a segment to hype up everybody, and then the team just goes and blows it themselves somehow. So
Because
like
of
losing
management.
5-1 to Colombia or
Because
something
of
like that.
management.
Whatever. I cannot stand it.
We have
I hate U.S. men's soccer talk.
The game against Colombia, it's funny you mentioned that 5-1 game. They said at the very beginning of the game, it was the first time in the history of the United States that all 11 starters play in the top five domestic leagues in the world. So you're talking about the English Premier League, La Liga in France, La Liga in Spain, Ligue 1 in France, Serie A in Italy, and the Bundesliga in Germany. The first time ever in the history of America that all 11 starters play in those leagues, coached by a guy from MLS.
And in
That's the problem.
2024.
That's the problem.
God.
Really taking advantage of that talent, it sounds like.
MLS soccer is not European football.
No, Alexi Lawless has been bitching about that for the last
But let's not
decade and a
forget
half.
about Alexi Lawless. You're a defender on one of the worst American teams in the history of the World Cup in '94. So I think Brazil is still scoring goals on him. So he can shut up.
I can't stand his
But he loves to
commentary.
trash England, and that's fun because it's really fun to trash England.
Ever since I actually started somewhat paying attention to U.S. Men's soccer, I feel like the furthest they ever got in any sort of World Cup, Olympics, or anything was that one year. Was it 2014 against Portugal? Was that a group play
Yes.
or was that
That's
finals?
group play.
Yeah. See, that's what I feel like that was one of their bigger games, and it wasn't even in like the final 16 or final 8, like it was just group play.
2010, we beat England.
In what?
The
Just
group
for
stage.
just for fun?
In the group stage.
Oh,
I swear.
again, just a group stage.
In 2002, we went to the knockout round and beat Spain and Mexico and almost beat Germany.
See, that was before I was paying attention. I'm saying since before I actually was like, okay, let's maybe give them the time of day. And that game was all hyped up because they were playing Portugal. And when did you know it? They lost.
I swear there was a Robin
Portugal's
Williams joke saying,
really
"Hey,
good.
we finally
I
made
know,
the
but-
16," like in the 2000s at some point. Did they not? They've not even then. Wow.
We played Belgium in the round of 32, I believe in 14, and Tim Howard had the most saves of any game in the history of the World Cup.
I
and
remember
we lost
that.
1-0.
And everybody was stoked about it. I was like, I don't think that's a good thing. That means our defense sucks. And they're getting any shot on goal that they want. I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. I'm like, he's not supposed to be this amazing.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to save the ball 19 times.
That's like our defense sacked Patrick Mahomes 8 times today, but we lost.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes threw for 400 yards. Like, yeah, but he was getting crushed the entire game. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, knockout stage 94, 02, 2010, and 2014.
Whatever. Go like U.S. men's soccer. I could care less. Like again, until I actually see something tangibly cool happen with them, then I might actually give them some credence. But it's every damn Olympics, World Cup, anything. It just seems like I don't know. I think this might be the team. I like what they're doing, and then they don't do anything.
Well, they play on Thursday again, so we'll see how they go game 2 of
And I hope they
Copa
lose.
America.
I hope they lose. Honestly.
Only Americans root against America.
Now, hey, I'm cool.
The Austrians are not rooting against Austria.
The women's team, I'm cool with. All right.
Well, yeah, they're great.
Women's soccer is cool because they don't F around. They don't
They don't.
flop. They go after
Hey,
each
the
other.
men's team doesn't flop either.
I mean, it's men's soccer.
Says a guy
so
who doesn't watch it.
It's men's soccer. I watched the Bolivia game the other day.
Did you really?
Well, I passed out, I think, after like 15 minutes, but I watched some of it.
I had a buddy say to me, he was like, I was wide awake at noon and watched the England game, and 20 minutes in, I was out cold.
It was a solid nap, I will say.
All right, when we come back, Sugar Diaz is in a little bit of trouble. Do you side with him, or is the evidence damning? We'll get to that next, but first, there's Schultzy with sports.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, we're less than 24 hours away from the start of the NBA draft, and already we're seeing some deals being swung. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Brooklyn Nets have agreed on a principal trade to send Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick via the Milwaukee Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, as well as a second-rounder, and another massive deal that Brooklyn made along with that. They have, and this one's confusing, try to follow me here. So they are getting back their 2026 first-round pick and giving the Houston Rockets the Phoenix Suns 27 first-round pick. The Rockets are also acquiring the right to swap theirs and the OKC pick in the first round of the 2025 draft. and there's probably some more details in that, but essentially major deals already being swung the night before the NBA draft. We're covering it all here on 1080 The Fan. We're going to be live on location at 10 Barrel Brewing starting at noon with Danny and Dusty, and of course, Isaac and Suk for prime time are going to have you along till 7 with all the live coverage at 5. The Blazers with the 7th and 14th picks. The Mariners folding like a lawn chair against the Rays, getting smacked 11-3 thanks to 3 Tampa Bay blasts. Marks their 3rd loss in a row. They also had to put starter Brian Wu on the 15-day injured list with a strained right hammy. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The afternoon round of the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic, presented by Autotown GMC, is sold out. And the morning round is filling up.
Coming up shortly, we'll get to Bryce Harper and his feelings on the Olympics. Plus, is there a secret, real best team in the American League? Plus, we'll check in on the Mariners and objects in the rearview mirror closer than they appear.
Do we have
again.
to?
Yes.
We probably do have to.
Yeah, we
Plus,
do.
you'd put it in fair or foul anyway.
I actually put 2 Mariners questions in fair or foul.
That's what I figured. So maybe we'll just skip the Mariners and just wait for fair or foul at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour.
Over under 1.5 Mariners questions in fair or foul.
Take the over every time. Just hammer it. Lay the big wood.
You'll be up by season's end.
Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday? Smell my hand? 2 days ago.
Sunday, I
Sunday.
believe, yeah.
Okay, Sunday, Sugar
Smell my
Diaz,
hand.
our good friend here, who may be the next candidate for the great The problem is he plays on the East Coast, and a lot of times he doesn't come in when we're on the air.
And that was for the texter at the beginning of the show that said on the Vancouver Ford text line, I really missed the Fernando Rodney alarm. Me too.
It
Me
was
too.
great. Those were the good old days, Joe.
Those were good days.
Those were the good old days. The good old days with Voldemort and poop-filled Willamette.
MHCGA.
Yeah.
Make hot corner great again.
Yep, yep. Mahuka.
What the heck? Make the hot corner great again.
That's what I'm telling you, dude. I can't even buy bacon anymore. It's too expensive.
You're not wrong.
What
I
about
can't buy
sharks?
life.
What about sharks? You guys worried about sharks? Sugar Diaz on Sunday gets tossed for a foreign substance on his hand. And what's really funny is when you look at the picture, like, I don't even know what that is.
If you look at the picture really closely and turn it sideways, it looks like the towers are on fire.
Back and to the left.
Oh my
Back
God.
and to the left. But if you look at Sugar Diaz's hand, it's like, what is on there? It's kind of like, it's like,
Someone tweeted out, remember the ooze from Power Rangers movie?
yeah. It's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of like,
Ivan Ooze.
it's kind of like ooze, like he had like an infection and it kind of oozed some pus or something, and then dried over and became that like gold amber color.
Like a scab, but not a scab.
Yeah. Like, dude, something is on your hand.
He says it's rosin. He says it's sweating rosin.
Rosin is dark.
I just like, well, and granted, you know, the picture that's going around, it looks like it's from someone's TV set, like, you know,
It is.
the colors on it. I mean, it looks
Like
it
ESPN
looks
doesn't even
dark.
have the article of their footage of it. It's somebody's zoomed in
Yet
TV
nobody
shot.
took the time to get that off of their DVR or their phone. Good God.
Here's
and-
a
and-
little bit clearer picture from, but again, I mean, it's darker. Yeah. I just find it entertaining that he asked the umpires to smell his hand.
When in life has it ever gone well when you're like, dude, smell my
Yeah,
fingers.
so smell my hand. Smell my finger.
Smell
Come
my
on.
hand. Come on.
That ain't pine tar, kid.
So the ump smells his hand and says, well, that's not rosin. Yeah, see, I told you. Yeah, but it's something else.
You're still out of
You're
here.
still gone.
Yeah.
And I know guys get caught because guys are still doing it. Like, everybody's still doing it. You know, baseball's always been cheating until you get caught.
I blame Grimace.
You think Grimace set him up.
It was a purpley substance.
Grimace knew that the Mets couldn't continue their form if Sugar Diaz was reinstilled as a closer.
I will say, though, for Edwin Diaz, man, how the mighty have fallen. Like, it's just,
He makes a lot of money, too.
I know, but man, when you're,
I saw his. Did you see his first save back?
whatever
when he-
the hell it is that was on his hand, it's just, it's sad. It's kind of sad.
It's kind of sad. Did you see his first save back? I think it was like Thursday or something. It was his first time in a save opportunity as a closer since he was pulled from the closer role. He got the save, and
Did he look like he was about to cry?
he looked like they just won the World Series.
Yes.
You know, and the
God.
place was going nuts, and you know, we all want to hear it's the best walk-up music in the history of baseball.
Bro, they were hammering this on the Stanley Cup playoffs broadcast. This song, they played it every game. It seemed
Oh,
like.
really?
Multiple commercial breaks.
It is weird. Like, we're gonna tangent for a minute because I don't think anybody really gives an S about Sugar Diaz being suspended because I don't think he's very good anymore. And the Mets suck. So let's tangent for a minute. Dude, I've noticed the
Whoa, whoa,
same
whoa.
thing.
The Mets don't suck right now. Okay. They've won, I believe, 11, 12 of their last 13.
Are they ahead of the Nationals in the division?
I remember that was the line of demarcation last week. And as of right now, at this very moment, as the Nationals are in the middle of their game against the Padres, yes, they have a better winning percentage.
Okay, the Mets are better than the Nationals. Can we play that song again? You are now better than Logan Thomas.
They are better by .007 win percentage.
Any
Yes.
player you drop is worse than Victor Robles.
Grimace.
Dude, go Mets. They're going to make the playoffs. Watch.
I've
Probably not.
noticed this
Probably not.
in the Euros and Copa America. You remember when Iceland was really good a few years ago and they had the big
Like
the
a
skull
skull chant.
right?
I just
remember that?
remember the clip of that one Icelandic commentator losing his ass.
Yeah, remember
and they had like dentists on their team.
Yeah, it was like the coolest thing ever, and they like went kind of deep, and it was really fun. And their fans, like the entire country of Iceland, was at the World Cup, or I think it was the Euros.
All 250,000 of them.
And they kept doing it. Now everybody does it. Everybody does it. It's like Costa Rica playing Panama, and they're doing the skull clap.
Did they go deep, or did they just like win one game that they shouldn't have?
No, they went kind of deep.
I'm gonna look this up.
They went kind of deep.
Anyways,
And now, here's the craziest thing. Now, when it comes to these chants, these guys, when somebody scores a goal, all their fans go, and I'm like, Jack White, it's a bad idea to make that song public domain.
I hope he's getting royalties for
No,
that.
he's not. Jack White made Seven Nation Army a public domain song.
Yeah, we could
Oh.
like play that
Takes, yeah, we can play it right now.
on YouTube, and,
Yep.
and we wouldn't get dinged for it.
Takes-
Everybody can play. it.
Takes no money from it.
Knowing how stupid YouTube is sometimes, though, they probably still would flag
They
it
would.
for some reason.
You'd have to like fight
Nope,
through
not
it,
good.
yeah.
It's
You
like,
got to pay the Library of Congress for
I
the
don't
rights
care.
to that.
Can't use it. Anyways,
Anyway.
Edwin Diaz, what are you doing, bud?
I think Edwin Diaz kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, again, I feel like I don't know if this is a matter of he has been doing this and he just got caught, or if it's just an act of desperation.
I actually think most of it is, I think most guys are trying to find an edge like this. And I think this was before his first pitch, right?
Yeah, I believe it was before he even threw a pitch.
Yeah,
they
so
just
he
looked at
probably
his hand.
doctored himself up and was like, they're going to catch me after the inning.
He went into the
And after the inning, this Vaseline will be rubbed off.
he went into the clubhouse, gave it a little huck to.
Yeah. And he was like, after the inning, this will be rubbed off so they won't know that I'm here. Who doesn't like a good rubby action? And then he walks out and they're like, dude, why do you have peanut brittle on your fingers?
Peanut brittle.
But that's what it looked like, right?
I
it was
love
like,
peanut brittle.
Like there were like actual chunks
and spit on that thing.
kind of sitting on his hand.
Yeah, it is kind of chunky. It's almost like oatmeal consistency.
I actually
like pine tar, maybe. I don't know.
So I have to think like Boone got injected the other day, right? There was a bad strike call and Boone starts yelling.
Someone yelled,
Oh, yeah,
yelled from the
Stroman.
crowd behind
Yeah,
him.
and no, this was actually it was a Stroman
It
pitch.
was it
was
was
a bad call.
Bad call.
Very bad call, and you can read Boone's lips, and he's yelling, "There's balls and there's strikes, and you don't know the difference." And like it was actually a good rant from Boone, and he gets tossed. So my question to you is: does an umpire enjoy tossing a manager yelling, or do they just look at Sugar Diaz's hands and say, "Dude, you're gone"? Because like some guy is yelling at you. Like Boone is yelling at you, you're terrible at your job. You have one job and you can't even do that. And the guy goes, you know what? Get out of here. Is that more satisfying? Or would you rather look at Sugar Diaz and he goes, smell my hand, and you go, no, you're gone? What would you rather have?
I'd probably say the latter of the two.
Yeah, just look at a dude and laugh at him and
Yeah.
say, dude, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think,
Like when they touched Miguel Pineda's.
Oh, Michael
Oh,
Pineda.
yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Pineda when he had the pine tar on his neck, and you touch it and you look at it and you're like, dude,
the nail
you gone.
file
Yeah,
falling out of the pocket, and they're like, bro.
Oh, Niekro.
Do you get more
cheater.
excited because some dude's losing his S on you and you get the final say? Or do you get more excitement by looking at a dude saying, I can't believe you tried this. You're an idiot.
I mean,
get out of here.
if you're the umpire, I think you're a little more shocked in that latter scenario.
I think so too. And that's why it might be more enjoyable. You're like, really?
you're like, what?
I
You
think
tried this?
Well, I think it's definitely one of those when he goes home at night, he's like, honey, you won't believe what happened at work today.
This guy was so stupid.
This guy.
He had a nail file in his back pocket. This guy had oatmeal on his hands.
Babe, tonight is Sunday Night Baseball, HD cameras, and I know he's black, but pine tar is darker than his skin. Can you believe that?
Did you watch the game, honey?
How was your day at work? Oh, you're not going to believe this one.
You have no idea.
Did you get yelled
man.
at again? No, actually.
No.
It was fantastic.
No, I did my job real well.
A guy
Let me
made my
tell you
job
what,
very easy tonight.
I did my job so well tonight. No one's ever done
So
it
good.
as well as I have.
I'm assuming the internet sleuths are now going to go back and look at his last few appearances and try to spot
Yeah,
something on
I
his
do
hand.
want to know what it was because it
Yeah.
looks different. You know,
it's
it looks
definitely-
different.
Off.
Yeah, I'm curious what it is. All right, when we come back, Bryce Harper's got something to say. He's anti-World Baseball Classic. Does that mean I have once again become anti-Bryce Harper? We'll do that next. Hot Corner, 10 the Fan. Coming up in the second hour of the show, we got fair or foul at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour like we always do. Plus, we'll get into objects in the rear view are closer than they appear. And also, is there a secret best team in the American League right now? So we got a lot to get into. Plus, next week, Joe and I have been talking about doing a big trade deadline projection kind of show.
Dude, just on the phone for hours at night. Just, what do we do, man?
You know, talking to GMs, my sources, you know, as Colin Coward always says, I had dinner last night and ran into a high-end NBA exec, and they told me that Rui Hachimura is a decent basketball player.
Yeah, I get those invites all the time, and I just pass up on them.
I just got too much to
get
do. I mean, I got a
GMs,
smoking hot wife and
VP of baseball operations hitting me up, and
know,
I'm like, nah.
too busy getting hammered.
You
at
guys
my
have a good one
house.
without me.
Yeah, I just can't do it. Shout out to my buddy Bo Johnson who just called me in the break asking for some paddles. If I got him, brother, you know I got you. But we're talking. I want to talk about this because I find it interesting, especially because we talked earlier. Like, I'm a soccer bro, so I'm into Copa America going on right now. I'm into the Euros right now, and what I find fascinating is Bryce Harper about a week ago made some comments in relation to the Olympics, and this has created parallels to the World Baseball Classic. Now, I have been on the record on this show in my personal life. I am obsessed with the World Baseball Classic. I think it is awesome. I want it to grow. I want it to get bigger. I love that America doesn't win it. I love that Japan's the only two-time winner. It's different styles. The Puerto Rican team has got some crazy flair. The Mexican team might be the most exciting to watch. The Dominicans are the most stacked. And America, for some reason, can't get their best players to play. So I am fully in on the World Baseball Classic, and I want it to be something as big as the World Cup. But Bryce Harper made what? The World Cup is the number one sporting event in the world, right?
Yeah, and that's why I laugh that you think that you want it to be as big as the world.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna happen.
But it's baseball. But it could be in the countries that play it. It could be as important. Japan's not very good in the World Cup. Neither's America.
It's still the World Cup.
Neither is the Dominican. Doesn't play the World Cup.
Well, I know. I get in what you're saying in some of these countries, but World Cup is pulling, 1 billion viewers every game or something like that?
For, like, Nigeria, South Korea?
Dude, yeah. I appreciate the optimism, really, but...
But you know what I mean.
Yes.
I really think that is a tournament. That is something fun that could really get things going. And I know it's
I love the passion in it.
I know it's a pain in the butt for... spring training and stuff like that, but I think it's really fun. This is all pain for post league and upcoming league. Like, you don't get the time off that you need. Bryce Harper said this when talking about the 2028 Summer Olympics. They're in Los Angeles, and baseball will be back for the first time since a trial basis in 2020 and was not played in 16 or 12. So the last year in the Olympics was 2008. Bryce Harper said this, quote, "There's nothing more worldwide than the Olympics. I watch the most random sports in the Olympics because it's the Olympics, and that's really cool. I love hockey. It's one of my favorite sports to watch. To see the NHL take that 3-week break and let those guys play, that's another big goal that we should have as Major League Baseball." So then I put this question to you guys because I just said, I'm in the World Baseball Classic camp. Is Bryce got a point here?
Oh, I 100% believe so. If baseball hasn't been a part of the Olympics in that long, and you have a chance to grow the game internationally like this and showcase some of the stars that are in that MLB, I know that there's going to be players, obviously, from other countries that are playing in the Korean League, the Japanese League, and some of the South American, Central American leagues.
Venezuela would be good. Dominican would be good. Curacao would have a team, which would actually be the Dutch team.
And I just think that for the greater good of the game of baseball, I think that it would be best to do that because then you can guarantee that all the best players in the world are going to participate in this. Whether they want to take the break from the MLB season, that's on them.
That would be interesting for like records and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, do what you want to do, but I would think that if you're an MLB player and MLB says, hey, we're going to take these 3 weeks off or 2 weeks, whatever, because the Olympics are happening, it's in the U.S., and you will have this opportunity to play for your home country, why wouldn't you take that opportunity?
I mean, Bryce is smart in talking about the NHL. I mean, NHL hockey
there's
in
already
the
a
Olympics
precedent for
is
it.
pretty rad. That's pretty cool. I guess the big question is, soccer in the Olympics is all U21. So it's not professionals. So when soccer wins in the Olympics, it's not the big studs that play for your country. It's the kids. It's the amateurs.
And baseball was that way as well back in the
Right.
day.
Like the Olympics have always been amateurs. So I guess the question is as somebody who likes the standalone tournament building its own, are the Olympics the best vessel for the world to see baseball at its best level?
I mean, we've seen it work with the NBA and the Dream Team in the
Dream
90s.
Team changed the game.
The Redeem Team coming back and then
Redeem
getting
Team also was big.
Yeah, expecting basically worldwide, the respect on the United States basketball players. And I think if you can use the world stage, and remember, guys, Olympic broadcasts are free for a lot of these groups.
Yep.
Like, everybody can put this stuff on TV. Everybody can watch it. And to watch, not just because we know, Japanese Nippon Professional Baseball is already popular worldwide. There's leagues all around big countries, and baseball's popular there. But if you can get the American players over and you get them worldwide, we kind of talk about baseball having a marketing problem and trying to get their stars out there more. What better way to do it than this? It's easy. Do it. Yes.
My biggest thing is the Olympics. When you have sports in the Olympics and understanding the sports, there's nothing more worldwide than that. Not having baseball in the Olympics is really tough. I would love to be a part of that. We have the World Baseball Classic, but it's not the same. It's not. The Olympics is something that you dream about playing.
Yeah,
That's another quote from Bryce Harper.
I mean, as an athlete in any sport, whatever you're doing, whether it's that rifle shooting to baseball to I mean, like
skeet,
having a
motherfucker.
gold medal is something that every athlete dreams about getting. And he's right. I mean, World Baseball Classic, it's awesome. It's great for baseball fans. The Olympics are a different level. You have hundreds of millions, upwards of over 1 billion people watching certain events around the world.
Yeah, we don't know anything about swimming, but for 2 weeks, we all of a sudden know everything about swimming because we're internet
Katie
renegades.
Ledecky, man. We're going to be hearing her for the next 2 months.
Dude, and he is so right about watching sports that you don't
care about.
Oh, my God. That is one of my favorite things about the Olympics.
I actually don't like the Summer Olympics because I think most of those sports are boring, but the Winter Olympics have the weird stuff.
I go to bed every night with something on the TV, right?
Like luge? Isn't luge the one where you go head first?
I believe
Yeah, just on a tiny little board.
No. Luge is the one that you go feet first. Skeleton is the one you go face first. Like, yeah, I'm trying to watch. I'll watch that dude blow his face up.
I was watching ladies hammer throwing the other night. I've been watching all the trials. I'm down. I'm with it.
I just, again, I was saying that, like, I like watching something at night when I go to bed. And one of my favorite things is putting something on TV, Olympics related, at like 11 a.m. as I'm trying to lie down. And then I somehow am still awake at 2 a.m. watching whatever else is on because it's just random sport next to the another random sport. I watched surfing for like an hour and a half back when the Olympics were happening in 2020. Not even the rifle shooting. It was like this air gun. I think it was like air rifle shooting that they have in the Olympics as well. I got caught watching that for an hour. Synchronized diving, and an hour went by there. I am with you that you have millions of people around the world watching ancillary crazy ass sports like that. Imagine putting baseball in front of them and having the passion of all these countries behind it. Yes, it is infinitely different than the World Baseball Classic.
We'll finish this. I found this article from essentiallysports.com. Currently, the selection system prohibits Major League players from being part of the Olympics. Only amateurs and players not on a 40-man roster can take part. Baseball was official medal sport in 92. U.S. team only won in 2000. In 2021, featuring former players Scott Kazmir and Edwin Jackson, they got silver. Their opponent was Japan. Benefited from a paused domestic league, allowing players like future Dodger Yoshinobu Yamamoto to compete. It is to be noted that Japan paused its season for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, letting their top players take part in the conversation.
You know, and as you always say, baseball.
Nobody hates baseball more than baseball.
Yeah, so there's something that they're going to get, MLB is probably going to get in the way of this, but I just pray that cooler heads prevail and that Bryce Harper and MLB players are able to, get in the ear of owners and get in the ear of the front office in MLB and tell them that we need to do this.
Yeah, look, I love the World Baseball Classic. I want the World Baseball Classic to be a thing, but if the Olympics are the thing and we're playing Puerto Rico and Mexico and Japan and Korea and the Netherlands, like if that's the realm to see country versus country, I guess you're right. I guess I don't care whether it's the World Baseball Classic or the Olympics, but I love the idea of creating top countries to see how they fate against others. All right, coming up, we got a loaded second hour. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, part deux. Plus, how concerned are we about this secret American League team that might be the best? Plus, fair or foul. That's next. Loaded second hour. Don't go anywhere. Hot corner today. The Fin.
Auto
Welcome to the second of the Hot Corny. Missing the first hour. You can download that at the Fan Podcast at 10tothefan.com, the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's the surfing like in Paris? I think we've talked about this before, have we not?
I don't know if we have, but I can tell you the river that rolls through Paris gives the Willamette a little bit of a run for its money.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You don't want to be in that bad boy.
The surfing competition, they just added surfing to the Olympics the last time around when it was in Japan. And, I killed an hour and a half watching it, but dear God, it was one of the more boring things I watched in the Olympics.
Well, we were saying this in the break. Like, I'm a big whitewater rafter, and when they added rafting to the Olympics, I was like, this is going to be so sick. Because I thought it would be, like snowboarding events are at the mountains and the places that are naturally created, right? So when you're in Salt Lake City for the Olympics, you are on a real mountain with great snow.
Dude.
But the whitewater rafting, I thought it'd be like a sweet-ass river that you got. No, it's just some man-made created course, and it's garbage.
You know how they're getting around this with the Olympics this year with surfing?
In Paris?
Yes.
Yeah. Just in a pool?
No, they are going to be having the swimming competition or the surfing competition in French Polynesia, in Tahiti.
Wow. So everybody is in France,
but
they're
going to be in Tahiti, French Polynesia. Yeah, I was just like, you know what? For the sake of the sport,
good job.
Good
job.
Also kind of sucks. Like, what are they going to fly them out for the opening ceremony and then fly them all the way back? I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah, it's like there's fishing in the Olympics, and the Olympics are in England, and we'll go to Falkland or the Falkland Islands to see how the fishing is doing for the Brits in South America.
Listen, again, good for the sport, thank God, because the Japan waves were not righteous, man. Not a lot of hang ten and cowabunga there.
I'm actually really excited to watch these Tahiti waves.
Oh, me too. I mean, like I said, for the sake of the TV product, smart move on their part.
I got a question to ask, Joe. You posed this to me as we were trying to figure out what the hell to do today, and I'm now breaking it down. The Philadelphia Phillies, by percentage points, have the best record in baseball at 52-27. The only other 52-win team is the Yankees, but they have 29 losses. Right around them, the team with the least amount of losses in baseball and one less win than the other two are the Cleveland Guardians.
Your Cleveland Guardians.
My Cleveland Guardians.
When you said you were going to admit something earlier in the show, I thought it was going to be like, you guys, I think I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan.
I'm back
I was
on the
like,
Guardians
dude,
wagon.
Shut up. No way.
No, it's that I watch too much soccer. Dare we ask, are the Cleveland Guardians the best team in the American League?
Well, the reason I asked this is because I was watching the MLB Network today.
They have the best bullpen in baseball.
And they were asking this very question. And Ryan Cooley, sales manager, noted Yankee/Red Sox fan.
Noted Red Sox fan.
He was like, God, this really kind of grinds my...
This just chaps my ass.
Yeah, that they're asking this question.
How dare you ask? Because it's clearly my Red Sox.
And I think he wanted some solidarity with me being an Orioles fan that, like,
yeah,
totally. Who the hell? No, my team's the best team in the
I
AL.
hate you, Cooley, but you're right. That team's garbage.
But now after the Cleveland Guardians have promptly whooped on my Orioles the last 2 days now, leading to 5 straight losses from my Orioles. Thank you, Astros.
Which we'll get to in a minute.
They have been the most consistent team all year to me out of the 3. Yankees are on a slide. The Orioles, while they can put up runs, they have a great offense. I do not trust their pitching staff outside of Corbin Burns. And, Grayson Rodriguez, he's had a great year, but...
I like the bullpen a little bit, but the starters definitely lack.
I mean, they've had 3 arms have to go on to IL because of Tommy John. They need another starter before the playoffs start. And, I mean, quite frankly, Cleveland needs one too. But you're right. They have the best bullpen in baseball, and that's something you can lean on when you get into the playoffs. Jose Ramirez, noted most underrated baseball player in the MLB.
Probably should be the MVP right now, but Aaron Judge will garner more votes due to his home runs.
Stephen Kwan is batting like 500. Josh Naylor was just named AL Player of the Week after absolutely losing his S after a home run.
And he had a really bad start to the season and has just been smashing
He
of
just
late.
keeps hitting dingers.
And bombs.
Yeah,
Like
huge.
they're bombs.
They have
I think part of it is that he's kind of a big boy. And so when he hits them deep, you're kind of like, whoa. It's like a little Vladdy action. You know, when Vladdy hits one, you're like, oh, that's a big guy. Hit one real far. Me hit bar far. Me hit ball far.
I'm doing some math. 7 wins in a row. 2 of those coming against the Mariners, sweeping the Blue Jays, and then winning back against the Orioles in Baltimore. They have the best home record in baseball. Man, it would be cool though to see Jose Ramirez just have a huge surge like he's been having in May and June, and see him pull out an MVP. I don't think it's going to happen because of the way that Aaron Judge is swinging the bat and how Gunnar Henderson is swinging the bat as well. He had his 25th home run today without looking like Herman Munster. But I mean, the way that the Guardians have been playing this year, like I said, most consistent, best bullpen in baseball. You wonder if, the starters, if they start playing better, it's just like, are they the most complete team?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I think Cleveland is going to live and die by that pitching staff. Like you said, Joe, I firmly believe this is the best bullpen in baseball. Tanner Bybee, his last 3 or 4 starts have put together like an ace. It is a damn shame that Shane Bieber is out. I was talking with a buddy of mine, and I was talking about how I thought going into this season, Cleveland would trade Shane Bieber, Emmanuel Clase, and probably Josh Naylor, maybe Quan, because Jose is going to be there. Like Jose's your guy, so you're not going to get rid of him, and you've got him on a very friendly contract. But I thought this was going to be a big season for Cleveland to take a step back and start trading these guys. But it's like, don't look now. You got Tanner Bybee, who's an ace basically over the last month. Emmanuel Clase is the best closer in the game. You've got the best bullpen in the game. Quan's back, like you said, Joe, batting 1,000. And you've got guys on this hitting that aren't guys that are great, but Jimenez, Tyler Freeman's been pretty good for them in spots. Even Josh's brother Bo Naylor's been decent. David Fry's had a good year. They've got guys that are nobodies. And I think what's interesting from a Stephen Vogt standpoint as the manager, I thought this team would take a huge drop off losing Tito, but Stephen Vogt has been just as great, and his staff is basically Tito's staff. So, like, the nucleus of that team, what makes them good, is still there. I'd be curious what they do at the deadline.
Well, and I'll have to check the the BetMGM, DraftKings, whatever app to see what manager of the year odds are right now. But I would imagine he has to be number 1.
He has to be.
Like, when you look at the talent on that team compared to others.
Okay, Service has outperformed in the Mariners so far. Boone has maybe the best team in American League.
Brandon Hyde has a great
Brandon Hyde's
roster.
got a great roster,
but
a former winner.
But doing more with less. I mean, the Phillies, great. I mean, maybe the Brewers as well. But again, and I'm trying to remember, it's Pat. God, I know the
Pat
first
Murphy.
name is Patrick. Pat Murphy. Thank you.
Throw Rocco Baldelli and the Twins in there too.
But again, like the Guardians are the ones leading that division and comfortably at
convincingly.
This point. Yeah, our big question coming into this season with the Guardians was how big of a dip they were going to have with the manager position. They haven't had one.
I think if you walked into this season and it was like, hey, you won your division, your first round matchup in the playoffs is Cleveland, you'd be like, sick. I'm going to the second round. Like, who else is around? Like, can I go to the American League Championship Series and skip out? Cleveland might be the team you don't want to play. Judge is the player. Judge and Soto are the guys you don't want to play as players, but you can get around that. Teams, God, Cleveland is good.
All right, trying to pull up the awards. Yeah, they don't
If
have.
they win the World Series, you know I'm running back.
They don't have the awards on DraftKings, but I'll find what the odds are looking like on like Vegas Insider or something like that for Manager of the Year. Because I'm curious. I mean, I would imagine he's top 3.
It's got to be, if not 1.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, objects in the mirror closer than repair, part 2. Boy, how we can change the world. Is this cause for massive concern? Probably so. That's Joe Fisher. I'm Patrick Harris. Schultze on the 1s and 2s, 10A The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Sprague.
People requested more of Sprague's
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get to fair or foul, everybody's favorite. We do it every single Tuesday at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour.
Speaking of the AL Central right now, don't look now, but the Royals are kind of doo-doo. They have lost 1, 2, 3.
They're 3 of their last 7.
7 of their last 9 games. And they have scored 11 runs in their last 7 games.
That's too bad, too. I was here, banging the drum on Seth Lugo as a Cy Young candidate.
That's straight doo-doo, baby.
And Seth Lugo's been good. Seth Lugo's been really good.
Well, they've been a nice little team. You got Pasquantino cleaning up at the 3 spot after Bobby Witt.
They have a nice bullpen,
Vinny,
too.
They do.
They spent money on it.
Man, they have literally won 4 games since June 9th.
4?
4 games since June 9th. Since June 8th, actually. They won against the Mariners. They got 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. Sorry, Schultze. But they lost their last one. They dropped 3 out of 4 to the Yankees. Dropped 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. 2 out of 3 to the Athletics.
Ouch.
Got swept by the Rangers.
Ouch.
And then they've split the series against the Marlins so far. And they got 11-10 first pitch tomorrow.
Dude, Marlins,
But
they're a
Not
cheeky
good.
bunch over there.
Not good, Royals. Start swinging the bat.
But in speaking of teams coming on hot of late, our Seattle Mariners, sitting in first place in the American League West,
With a 10-game lead, right?
with a 10-game lead a week ago. And here we are now, part deux, as the Houston Astros sit 4.5 back from the Mariners. And this is without Kyle Tucker.
Within a week.
Is this
Within a week, their lead has gone down by half.
I mean, the Rangers are 6.5 back. So that leads me to believe that this is more of a Mariner problem than Astros Texas coming on strong. Because Texas in the last 10 is 4-6. Now Houston's 8-2. Like Houston's coming on strong, especially without Kyle Tucker. But this has got to be more about the Mariners coming back down to earth.
Well, I mean, it does help when you play the White Sox in a series.
But they just played the Marlins and lost 2 of 3. They lost to the Rays today. The Rays are,
Yeah.
guys, earth to everyone.
11
The
to the
Rays
Rays.
are bad.
They're terrible.
That batting lineup, that 1 through 9 is brutal.
Arizarena is hitting like a $197.
It's
it ain't
hitting,
good.
yeah. They've got guys like Josh Lau who plays every other game, and Jose Caballero, like that guy plays. That is a team of platoon players, and they put 11 on you tonight with Castillo on the bump.
And Yandy Diaz, he had 7 of those RBIs tonight. Listen, the Astros,
Wish I had him in my fantasy league.
you get 2 out of 3 against the Tigers about a week and a half ago. All
Tigers
right.
are a decent team.
Decent. You get 2 out of 3 against the White Sox, as you should. But them sweeping the Orioles, that was one where I was just like,
Oh.
okay. And then they got the Rockies tonight. I think that's just a 2-game set against them. But it's a long-ass season, man. And what have we said for the last 2, 3, 4 seasons about this Astros team? Death by 1,000 cuts. And I don't want to overreact too much, but the way that the Mariners have been this year with their inconsistencies and the way that the Astros are playing right now, even with their injuries that they had on the pitching staff and at the plate as well, you just wonder, it's like, are they going to do this again? Are they going to find a way to, again, at least sneak into the playoffs?
Let's play.
But then, I mean, you literally lost half the lead in the division in a week.
In a week.
And let me.
And you're not playing each other. Like, you play each other and you lose it. That makes sense because you basically gain 2 games for every win.
No, they're just losing to crappy teams.
Well, and what we say about the the Phillies is that it's like, okay, well, they haven't played anybody really good, but the bad teams that they played, they beat them, right? You had a series with the Astros against the Orioles, and the Orioles got swept. And so that's good.
Without Kyle Tucker.
That's really good for the Astros. And then you have in a series for the Mariners against the Marlins, a team you should beat, one of the worst teams in the MLB, and you lose that series. It's like you are not taking advantage of the opportunities in front of you, and the Astros are right now.
Yet Seattle, unfortunately, still they are leading MLB in comeback wins, which is not a sustainable stat. They're having the 2022 version of Seattle without like as good of a hitter in the 7 or 8 spot, because it's usually a guy batting $190, essentially having the 1-run wins. Which now, when you see the other side happen and the bullpen give it up, or guys hit a game-tying late homer, a go-ahead homer, like Garver did 2 nights ago, but then the bullpen, who's been being leaned on, just like these starting pitchers for literally the last 2.5 years, it's a house of cards.
Run differential from division leaders. I got 107, 107, 118, 68, 115, and 8.
Is the Astros run differential higher than Seattle's right now?
It is, yeah. It's like 20.
Plus 20. They're plus 24.
Yeah.
My God.
Mariners are 8. Funny side note on this, harking back to our last segment, Cleveland Guardians, New York Yankees, same run differential.
Dude,
Just saying.
as much as
Just
Cooley
saying.
and I don't want to hear it, you can make a case for the Guardians being the best team in the AL East.
Cooley's
They're
Red
playing
Sox
like
are
it.
plus 44.
They're playing like it right now. That's for sure.
Let me ask you guys a question. We'll play a little fun buy or sell. Buy or sell. The Astros are in first place at the All-Star break.
The All-Star. Ooh. What, we're like 2
2
weeks?
2.5.
I'm going to sell that.
2.5, maybe 3 total.
I'm going to sell that, but I mean, end of season?
If you ask me by the trade deadline, I'd say yes. All-Star break,
My
not
buddy
so
Todd
sure.
asked me, you got $100. You got to put it down.
I'll say no.
You
No,
put
they
it
will
down
not be
on
in
the
first.
Mariners or the Astros to win the division.
I said
Houston.
I said today, and I want to say even like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm trying to think of what series it was. I think it was just after the Astros series. I was like, the Mariners are going to lose this division, and they will have no one to blame but themselves. So I took the Astros to win the division at the beginning of the season, so I'm sticking to it.
It's
Sticking to it.
it's absolutely mind-blowing, too, because
And we're officially about at the halfway point of the season right now.
It's-
81, 82 games.
it's mind-blowing because this staff, Castillo struggled the most this year.
Giving up a lot of home runs.
Castillo's been a struggle this year, but he's still a great pitcher with great stuff, so I'll believe in him. Bryce Miller, he's a kid. He had a really rough game the other day against the Marlins. I'll let that slide. He's a kid. I tend to be a George Kirby guy over a Logan Gilbert, but Jesus Cristo, have you seen Logan Gilbert of late? You lose games and you got that guy on your team? I mean, they don't lose when he pitches, but Logan Gilbert right now in the last 3-4 starts for everybody, I don't know if there's anybody in baseball better than Logan Gilbert right now. Throwing 8, shutout, 4 hits, no walks. He's got Kirby numbers.
Yeah, and the Mariners are only putting up 3 runs.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So and I think what's the most terrifying thing about the Houston Astros, as I've alluded to, but we haven't really talked about it, is they're doing this without Kyle Tucker. Like, I play fantasy. I'm in a bunch of fantasy leagues. And when you look at the best players, fantasy-wise, just stat-wise, Kyle Tucker's top 5 in every single league you're in.
It could be cleared to return soon, according to The Athletic also. He
So-
took some swings on Sunday.
So Kyle Tucker goes down and you go on a hot streak? What happens when he comes back? Framber Valdez seems to have kind of figured it out after a little shaky May and a ish June. Verlander's looking more healthy. You got the cheater there with the foreign substance who either gets lit or throws a no-hitter. This team's good.
Jordan Alvarez still quietly having a good year for him, too.
Jordan
Just
Alvarez,
hitting-
just a big MFer who hits giant bombs whenever he connects with the ball.
And also, might I add this, that Lance McCullers Jr. is about to have a major rehab step here and having a simulated throwing session,
Yeah.
it looks like.
I'm out on McCullers.
You are?
Yeah, that guy's been hurt for like 6 years.
Yeah, but, I mean, you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
And
DeGrom
then,
might bring Texas back to the World Series.
I mean, Verlander, I don't know how much you got left of him. He might come back before season's end.
Yeah, just got put on the injured list, didn't
Yep.
I hate his face, but Alex Bregman has been playing well the last month.
I know the thought was, would he be traded at the deadline? And maybe not now.
No,
maybe
not
you hold on
anymore.
to him. Maybe you hold on to him. Yeah, so we'll keep you informed on that. We'll keep watching that, especially next week. We'll definitely get into some Mariner talk about what their deadline could look like. I think everybody knows clearly where their gaps are, what they need to be looking for on the market, but we'll probably start with basically just who's available. The Mariners have people they can trade. So we'll just have to look at who's available. So tune in next week. We'll get to that. Let's back up and have a little fun. Let's get out of here. We'll do fair or foul next. But first, Schultzy with sports.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, we're less than 24 hours from the start of the NBA draft. Big moves being made on the eve. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Brooklyn Nets agreeing to a couple of big trades, at least in principle. First one, they're sending Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic. 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick via the Milwaukee Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, as well as a second-rounder. The Atlanta Hawks, of course, holding the number 1 overall pick. That's scheduled to be made just after 5 p.m. The Blazers sitting on the 7th and 14th picks. We're going to be live all day tomorrow, starting at noon at 10 Barrel Brewing, covering all the action. Danny and Dusty starting at noon until 3. Then you got Primetime with Isaac and Suk from 3 to 7. And, of course, the draft right here at 5 p.m. We'll see if the Blazers get in on some of this trade action. In baseball, the Mariners folding like a lawn chair against the Rays, getting smacked 11-3 thanks to 3 Tampa Bay whammies. Marks their 3rd loss in a row. They also had to put starter Brian Wu on the 15-day injured list. He has a strained right hammy. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultzy from the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
It's time for a rooftop party in the Pearl. Join the Fan for our 2024 draft party at 10 Barrel Portland Pub on Wednesday, June 26th. More Is it fair or is it foul?
fastball tapped at the plate. It'll trickle down the third baseline. The Mariners are going to let it roll.
A knowledge test to see how well they know the big leagues.
Lenny Randle gets down on his hands and knees and blows on it like a curler, and it goes foul.
And what our distinguished hosts think about the stories that popped up around the big leagues.
But he got down on his hands and knees and literally blew the ball across the foul line.
This is Fair or Foul on the Hot Corner on 1080 The Fan.
Down goes Anderson! Down goes Anderson!
You know, technology and stuff.
What would you say you do here?
All right, this is everybody's favorite Fair or Foul. We do it at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour every Tuesday as we are joined with you. If you missed any of it, check out the Odyssey app. Fan podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, including places that end with Colorado Rocky Schmodify. Without further ado, we push this over to our fantastic producer, Schultze.
What's up,
what you
guys?
got?
A couple Mariners things. We'll start off somewhere else, though, actually, with one of the best teams in baseball right
Foul.
now. The Philadelphia Phillies. They have just played, some people saying above their station this year, but of course, one of the best teams in baseball. Their pitching staff has been, in my opinion, performing way above what they're supposed to. Check this out, though, guys. Philadelphia Phillies starting pitcher Ranger Suarez. Fair, foul. He has already matched his single-season career high for wins. Fair or foul?
Ooh, I'm gonna say fair. Sorry to jump ahead of you.
No,
but,
please.
I mean, he's been fantastic.
I
this
love
year.
when somebody's excited and they're like, ooh, I'll go first.
Is win total correct?
Yes, yeah, wins.
They got a lot of wins. They got a lot of those wins, Patrick.
But it's a tricky stat because wins don't necessarily
Hold on, let me look up his stats real
correlate
quick.
to your quality.
Don't cheat and look up his stats, you jerk.
Just wondering if either of you caught that.
Like, wait.
I did not, Joe. I was like, yeah, look them up.
Yeah,
Tell me.
do it.
What do you got?
Why am I here? Why?
What do you got?
I'm going to say fair because they have won a lot of games, and he has been having one of his best, if not his best season as a starter, so I say fair.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Joe on this, and for different reasons. I think the fact that Philly has rattled off so many wins does kind of point to the fact that probably Ranger has got a lot of those wins. I think it's more about how late he's pitching into games, how effective he's been, and Joe was alluding to this too. I think he's just putting it together, and I think the reason the Phillies are so good is Ranger Suarez looks everything like an ace, but you have Zach Wheeler. Oh, and let's not forget, the third best pitcher on your team is probably Austin Nola. So Realmuto's out and that offense hasn't skipped a beat. I turned on the TV the other day and saw Castellanos hit a home run, and he ain't done squat all season. So there's something magical about this Phillies team, something smooth about this team, something that I wish the real world at 3 a.m. could understand, that Rob Thomas has got this baby cooking. I will say fair that Ranger Suarez is great.
Just stop hassling me. Fair, you guys are right. He did have 10 wins back in 2022 in his 29 starts that year. So far, taking the ball 16 times this year, 10 wins. So 13 less starts already through what? Barely half the season. He's already looking at 10 wins. Probably going to have his career high, literally taking the ball one more time and grabbing a win. But who knows? That could just go badly for him. But you're right. Wins are very complicated. So saw that. I thought it represented the Phillies' great season against, I don't know, lesser teams, but not much more than that. But you guys may be right. He could be putting it together as well. All right, moving on. Yeah, gotta knock my Mariners. Oh my God. I've been lamenting about him all season. Mitch Garver. Fair or foul, y'all?
Went deep today, Mitch Garver.
He went deep yesterday, too, actually. Hit the go-ahead home run, 2-run bomb, I believe in the 8th inning to give the Mariners a 3-2 lead before they just gave it right back. So 2 home runs in 2 days for Mitch Garver in Mariners losses. Fair or foul, Mitch Garver has the worst batting average of any qualifying big leaguer in 2024, fair or foul.
Holy God.
Say it again, sorry.
He has the worst batting average of any qualifying big leaguer, which essentially means you have to play in all of your team's games or have 3 at-bats per team games played. So you can't come up and, hit 8 for 8 and win a batting title like playing 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm going to make Joe go first because I've got a counter to this. Spoiler alert, I think the answer is foul.
Yeah, I'd say it's foul because I remember us talking about him a couple of weeks ago, and he was batting like $178. Started batting a little bit better, but there's been this kind of gap that I haven't been paying attention to him as much. I'm going to say foul because I want to say that little hot streak he went on for a week and a half or so raised him up enough. And there's some schlub somewhere in the on the White Sox roster that's a qualified batter that is just as bad.
I love that you said the White Sox because I will also say foul because of a former White Sox who won an MVP. Baby, is your name Jose Abreu? Come on down.
Ooh.
Because it's got to be Jose Abreu.
Whether he's qualified
That's the question
not.
is he qualified? But I'll take the Pepsi challenge and I'll say it's Jose Abreu.
I can't believe it. I stumped both of you guys. You know how much I hate Mitch Garver. Why would I? It's absolutely fair. Absolutely. He's hitting $176. The next closest being Rays outfielder Randy Arozarena. Oh, no. Will Benson moved under him at 188. Arozarena is at 191.
God, I really believed in that Jose Abreu.
Mitch Garver has been absolute ass for the Mariners. Yes, he had a couple of week stretch where I think his on-base percentage was near 400. He has, to his credit, been taking a lot of walks. But guys, they literally got rid of their backup catcher because he is not providing enough offense for them at the DH. And because they're paying him $12.5 million, they got to throw him in at backup catcher to try and offer more value and versatility to the roster because he can't hit.
If it makes you feel any better, Eugenio Suarez is batting 192 for the Diamondbacks.
That makes me feel a little better.
Most valuable hitter on the Mariners, fair or foul, Cal Raleigh.
God, and he's batting like 210.
206.
And I'd actually say fair to that.
I would too.
Because he's the most clutch guy they've got.
He's the only guy.
It's sad. And he is in the bottom 10 of all batting averages.
I think
as
Cal
well.
Raleigh should be an all-star.
He probably should be. Yeah,
Dear
guys.
God, if that's the state they're in at this point.
Yeah, guys, 3 Mariners, 12 Mitch Haniger, 213, 8 Cal Raleigh, 202, 1 Mitch Garver, 176. That is how far down your Mariner batters are, and it sucks. All right, fair or foul number 3. This one, because the trade deadline's coming up, and actually a name that has come up for a lot of teams, but being the Mariners as well, Chicago White Sox outfielder Luis Robert. Having a very good season. Well, I guess to some people's opinions, he's batting 198. But his on-base percentage is 280. So if you're a Mitch Garver fan, you like those numbers. 7 home runs, 11 RBIs.
Yeah, Mitch Garver would die for those numbers.
I know, right? Fair or foul, guys.
He did die.
It'll take your organization's number 1 prospect to acquire Chicago White Sox outfielder Luis Robert.
I'll go first on this. Yeah, I think Chicago's going to ask a lot for Luis Robert, and I wouldn't touch him.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Okay.
He's not healthy. He's not consistent. He's not some world-class defender. Like, if you play for the White Sox, I'm out. Like, I don't care who it is. I know Crochet, like, people are interested in him. I'm out. I'm out on all of you all. Like, I'm worried you're all a cancer to my clubhouse. I think you're so complacent with losing and being bad at your job that I will pass on all of you. You want Moncada for a 5th-round pick? Hell no, I don't. Get out of here. Tim Anderson couldn't get signed after winning 2 batting titles. Adios. No, foul.
I'm going to say...
I mean, I think it's fair. I think they're going to ask for it, and I will not pay it.
Yeah, it's going to cost that much, but yeah, I'm with Patrick, is that I don't know what franchise, what GM, what owner would be dumb enough to do that. Because I feel like what the White Sox are also hanging on right now is a lot of, well, did you see last year? Did you see him last year? He was pretty good.
Good last year.
He could be that.
He could be great.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Angels. Maybe the Angels would be the team that do that.
I would rather trade for Giancarlo Stanton than Luis Robert.
Well, I probably would too. But
I mean, yeah, ditto.
But Giancarlo can't stay healthy.
how old is Luis Robert Jr.?
No, like 25, 26? Let me look here.
I'm out. Just
26,
no way.
yeah.
Just no way.
Yeah,
No way.
I don't know what team would give up their number one prospect. That's dying that much for an outfielder.
If the Dodgers go to you and say, we'll give you our number one prospect, don't believe them. That guy's not number one. They've cooked the books to make
We
you
really
think.
like this kid.
Yeah. Hey, we want Mookie Betts. Well, it's going to cost you your number one. They're like, why don't you have Alex Verdugo?
Like, hey, we want Pages.
He's our number one. They're like, nah, you don't want him.
You don't want Pages.
You want Verdugo. Corey Seager? No, you don't want him. Will Smith? No, you don't want him. You want Alex Verdugo. That's who you want. Because he'll play left field in New York before you know it.
It'll creep you out without his beard. All right, fair foul number 4, rounding it out with my Mariners. Still in first place in the AOS, but clinging to that lead by 4.5 games over the Houston Astros. Yeah, a week ago, it was 10. It's bad right now. More bad news in the last 48 hours. They have lost another starting pitcher again. Brian Wu going down with
Wu
a
man.
strained right hamstring. He's on the 15-day injured list. They have recalled a reliever, which means don't really know exactly what they're doing with that 5th spot yet. We're getting close to the All-Star break, though. I guess that's good. But this is Wu's 3rd injury this year. It's very obvious that they're probably not going to be able to depend on him the rest of the year.
Is Hancock not still on the roster? They send him back down.
He is down in AAA right now.
Okay.
They like to play with their...
My Tacoma Rainiers.
Oh, yeah, you are in
My
there.
Tacoma
Wearing that
Rainiers.
hat. There you go. No, they'll probably call him up right before the next start is what I assume they'll do, just because they like to play with their roster like that. But fair or foul, guys, the Seattle Mariners must trade for a back-end starter after the latest injury to Brian Wu.
Patrick, if you want to go and take this.
I'll go. I'll go. I'll take this. I'll let you think about it for a second. I don't think so. I think Bryce Miller, even though he struggled the other day, if he's your number 4, I think he's better than most number 4s. And if you do have to go Emerson Hancock as your number 5, I still think him as a 5 is probably better than anybody else's 5. But I also have, depending on the day-to-day, depending on it, I also have a decent amount of faith in the Seattle bullpen. That if you had to throw a bullpen game for a 5th starter, I'd be okay with it. I think you are so strong up top with Gilbert, Kirby, and Castillo on good days, Miller on good days, that I think a back-end 5th starter is the absolute least of your concerns. Here's the things the Mariners don't need. They don't need a starter, they don't need a center fielder, and they don't need a shortstop, and they don't need a catcher. Everything else is on the table. Everything else.
I'm going with foul that their offense is the bigger need at this point in time. That's been the one problem with them consistently all year is generating runs, generating hits. It has gotten a bit better since they canned their bench coach, their offensive coordinator.
Brant Brown.
Yes,
Omaha.
but to me, it's still not good enough, and you need some sort of pop. Could be a bit of a spoiler for next week, but Jeff Passan put in his article today as far as who would be the best match for the Mariners at the trade deadline. Would be Pete Alonso. Now,
Insane. He's going to cost a lot.
yes,
It's going to cost a lot.
As a rental.
But that's I was going to say
As a rental.
for a
yeah.
half season.
Like I want Bryce Miller.
I just think you need pop, and I think that you have the arms to get you through the season, get you to the playoffs. But it's generating the runs, generating hits, generating that offense that the Mariners need right now. And I would have that be that top need at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I told you the 3 offensive positions you don't need is catcher, shortstop, and center field. But none of those guys are hitting well. You're just not going to do better than them. You're not going to do better than JP. Cal Raleigh is, catcher's kind of a wash position. And Julio's your future. Everything else is on the table. I don't think a 5th starter is one of them. And that is Fair or Foul. We do it every single Wednesday, Bomb there. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. Hot Corner, Danny the Fan.
The Fan Merch Locker is
trade deadline situation. So we come back next week. Maybe we'll look around. Maybe we'll kind of look at some teams and some good fits for them, and maybe look at actual rumors. Like my phone, Bleacher Report loves to blow up my phone and be like, John Heyman thinks the Seattle Mariners would be great for Pete Alonso. And it's like, well, so do I. But like, is that actual traction?
Well, what annoys me about that notification particularly is I click it to open an article, and it's just him live streaming.
Yeah, I
and
don't
like reading the chat, and I'm just like, dude, this is not.
Dude, I did that for a Euro. It was like right
damn
before the Euros started. Bleacher Report hit me up. Was like, who are the top 10 teams in the Euros? And I was like, oh, I'll read this article. That's exciting. And it was like some dude from his mom's basement. And I got on there, and some dude was like, France should be offended that 18 of their 24 players are black. When did Africa get to play in the Euros? And I was like, this is what I signed up for? This is what I logged on for?
The stream just cuts.
I wanted to hear the guy talk about the top 10 teams. I didn't know like some dude was going to come in and be hella racist and mad, and he wasn't even a French fan. And I was like, England's the most stacked team, but they can't win without Southgate. And the guy was like, the guy who's hosting was like, you're right. But then he had to delete comments from this race. Yeah, dude, I hate that. Like, give me an article. It's like a phone call, Joe. Like, if I text you, or it's Joe, if I text you, hey, what do you think we should do for the show tonight? If you call me instantly, boy, let me tell you, I do not want to answer that
Getting
phone
an
call.
earful.
I do not want to answer that phone call. I don't. Now, we talk on the phone from time to time, but we usually know when it's like, talking about us as friends, like
hey,
our personal
talking
life.
on the phone matter.
Yeah. Like we're talking as friends and shooting the S, talking about our kids or, professions or stuff like that. Like we know that. But if I'm like, yo, Schultz, you see the Mariner game last night? And Schultz calls me, I'm like, oh God, I'm not answering that.
Yeah, you better not.
Yeah, like I don't want to talk on the phone.
Did I see it?
Yeah.
Did I see it?
Like I only want to talk on the phone if things are important. So it's like when someone's like, I think Vladdy Guerrero Jr. would be great in New York City. And I'm like, yeah, that would be interesting. They got an article on that. And it pops up and John Heyman's like, don't you think, Patrick? Don't you think that'd be great? I'm terrified.
I fell for it once, and now whenever I get those notifications where it's like John Heyman thinks this, and I'm like, I know what John Heyman's doing. He's literally just answering questions in the chat of his video stream, and that's not what I'm trying to consume right now. Like, if he's got rumors, if he has actually reports, Like, I'll give it a read, but I'm not watching his stream.
I saw this meme that it was like somebody was on a restaurant's website and it said, click here to make a reservation. And they clicked there to make a reservation and it pulled up FaceTime to the restaurant. And they said, I've never been more terrified in my life.
No.
Yeah, that's absolutely not.
Sounds. What are we doing? Is that like a creepy way, like trying to hit on people? Call the restaurant right now. Hey, let me see what you look like.
Well,
that's
just
weird.
That's the other thing. We're in the break talking about this Texas A&M coach, and we'll talk about that next week because it's funny. It's worth doing. What are the worst things you can be called? Because Joe showed me some videos, some people on the tarmac leaving the World Series called him slimy. But then, Jordan, you just used the word creepy. Like, what's the word to describe you that you would absolutely hate? I think creepy is really tough.
A complete POS. Now, granted,
POS.
those are words. So that is a statement.
Right. But you know what I mean? Yeah. Would you rather be a hack, a complete POS, or creepy?
If we're trying to narrow it down to a single word, yeah, slimy. That's a good one. Hack. That I feel like that's a pretty.
I think creepy is really tough.
I mean,
yeah, you don't want that.
But I'm talking about in like sports terms.
Oh,
like,
okay.
like
being semi-insinuated that you are like a sexual assailant.
Yeah, if someone is
pretty
calling a coach
bad.
Like
creepy,
Jeff
like
or
there's a whole
Jerry
thing going
Okay,
on
all
there.
right. Let's back away from that then.
But if it's a coach saying like, "Oh no, I love this place, I would never leave," and then he literally leaves.
A hack is tough. Slimy is, what do I always say about Dana Altman? I don't want you to coach my kid, but I buy a Honda Civic from you.
I mean, I guess the word liar. It's specifically because it's kind of
Liar.
involved in all those, but just liar, straight up. I want to be known as an honest person, and if my integrity, because that is all of those things are questioning your integrity. Liar, hate it.
The things they say is it better to be Dabo, or is it better to be Cristobal?
I mean, at this point,
Dabo.
You'd probably have to say Dabo.
And that's insane.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw Brian Kelly in here as the number 3.
I mean, in these parts, buddy, those are fighting words.
Those are fighting words.
They'll protect Brian Kelly
My
down in
name's
Louisiana.
Brian Kelly, and I just got down here to Louisiana.
With my family.
With my family.
They'll protect him until the rapture comes.
Go Tigers.
Dude,
My God.
that's a good one. That's poll question-esque.
Yeah, right?
Who do you trust more,
Dabo,
Sweeney,
Sweeney,
or Mario Cristobal? Granted, you can't run that poll question here. 'Cause
Right.
I don't know. I
send it to the boys in the morning.
I think that's pretty close. Also, speaking of Mario Cristobal,
I think I'd take Dabo because he's got titles.
You know the college football game's coming out soon?
Yeah, I heard the boys talking about it this morning.
They said that the victory formation is not going to be in Miami's playbook in the next video game. Which I was like, that's great.
When you first started saying it, I was like, wow, they're so confident that they never have to run it because they won't. We don't run victory. We continue to put the foot on the throttle. It's like, oh, right.
I would love
never be in a position to use it. Got it.
I would love if there was an Easter egg that when they specifically play just Georgia Tech and it's like a one possession game at the end of the game, it's gone from the playbook. Like you can't find
choose it.
Yeah, it's just like, wait, what the hell? No, I want a knee.
No, I want a knee.
Nope.
And it's like, no, you got to run. And then the other Easter egg is that your top running back blows his ACL
and fumbles.
Yeah.
And
it gets run back and you lose the game.
100%.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty useless to my son and my girlfriend once that game comes out. So
yeah. You ready to rumble?
Oh.
I mean, that's how I am to my wife and my kids right now. The Euros and Copa's on, and I don't do a damn thing.
Yeah, I haven't had the talk with him. I haven't sat him down like, look,
son.
you're gonna see a different side.
I'm not proud of it. But I want you to still love me.
You might as well just give up on me after July 18th or whatever the release date is.
I love you, baby. I love you, son.
You guys should just leave.
All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back next week. We'll start talking some trade deadline stuff and keep pace on everything else that's going on. Wish me luck. I got to go to Spokane tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday. So I hope you guys...
Dear God, I hope it's a fast trip.
I hope so,
safe,
too.
Bro.
I hope so, too. I hope you all have fun tomorrow at the rooftop party at 10 Barrel. Say hi to all my coworkers. And I wish I could be there. I'm sorry I couldn't. But for Joe Fisher, Schultze on the ones and twos, I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Start your summer road trip at Midas and get up to $30 off your next repair.